All right. So Doge, the whole reason that was a thing is because someone is able to buy it at such a low price and affect the
That's like
market.
7 thousandths of a cent.
Right. And people think that that is such a large amount because of the way the chart prints itself, you know?
Yeah.
It's
They
not
look at it like it's so
actually.
low. But like I heard recently about it. Do you ever heard of Hoj?
Remember
I think
what?
it's like something like somebody said something about Hoj and like they went to like 124 or
Right.
like they had like 1,000 percentage like they went up and one of my buddies was telling me like somebody like they just sporadically shot up and I was like, oh man, I don't know about them because I ain't really been looking at the charts and all and but like they was telling me about that. I was like, well, fuck, I never heard of that. But it's like unless you're in a chat group or in news forums, you're not gonna know about it.
Right. Right. Doge, if you look at it on Coinbase, there is nothing hidden about it. Even the creator is 100% transparent about the creation of Dogecoin. It was
It
created.
wasn't from Elon Musk.
No, Doge, Doge has nothing to do with Elon Musk. Elon was investing in Dogecoin because he had so much money to invest to move the market, and he already has a platform on Twitter to control the market some type of way.
Yeah,
So,
it's just because I don't know. It was at the same time with the AUC hype.
right. So even if Elon made money or not, he still found it as enjoyment because he has a platform to on Twitter. Twitter is his platform to just publish something off of his mind and people can react to it. He just finds enjoyment
They
at
definitely react to it.
right, and he just finds enjoyment in that as a person. So like even if he's profiting or not, he's just gonna do it regardless because
No, I'm sure he's gonna profit on it.
people just like think that
God's
Elon
like,
is the god and will do anything he says. So like even in the last interviews that he was in, he even said this is all speculative and nothing that I do should affect that what you do. Like pretty much like
yeah.
everything he's
But people are
saying.
they probably like trying to follow in the shoes or like, oh, he said this, so do this.
Exactly.
That's it.
But like that's where logic comes in, and you can tell that the majority of the people are not investing in this because they think that it's gonna go up, but they're investing in it because somebody else is. Somebody that's already rich is investing in something, so they feel like they need to act upon it because they're gonna miss out. That's where fear, uncertainty, and doubt comes in, or fear of missing out. They're gonna just pour all of their money into it because they think that the rich person's just gonna make money, but they're already rich. So regardless of how much it goes up or down, they're still rich regardless. So
Yeah, oh, definitely.
that's
It's just
how.
it's like, man, like, yeah, when you got billions, it's like, that's probably not even on his top 10 to-do list, you know, like, to think about during the
Exactly.
day, you know, it's like,
Exactly. It's just a side thing for him to get a little chuckle, and he's just going about his day.
yeah, he's, like, so tied up in, you know, like, space, his Tesla and all of that.
Right.
Like, how do you even keep track of all that shit?
Right. Yeah, man. This man must have a fucking the
Like,
fullest
his
schedule
regimen
you
must
can
be,
think
like,
of.
crazy.
Right. And the things that this man thinks of is shit we don't even want to think of, you know? Like, and he's thinking about it 24/7 about we never even been above 15,000 feet. And this man's trying to get onto Mars. Like, he's thinking about shit that's way past our.
I mean, it surprises me, like, somebody with like his stature, with the amount of money he has, it's like, dude, you gotta know what, you know, the hidden government, like the shadow government or whatever, you gotta be in on it, man. Like, how can you just be so oblivious? Like, why are you still using rockets, you know, to try to, like, dude, like, you should have, like, anti-gravity equipment or some shit. Like you gotta be in on that shit. Like, and then when he goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and all he acts dumb. Like it's like you don't. It's like he's like uh, taking that perspective and he's like just like putting it to the side. And I'm like, dude, you gotta know, man. It's like, dude, you're a billionaire. Like, you're part of the 1%. You gotta know. Like, come on, man.
I kind of feel like he does know. I want to say that Elon is a good guy, but NASA has always been that conspiracy theory company that is like making us question.
Any new thing on the Space Watch, on the what's it called? The space shuttle, or like anytime they have a live feed like that, or a UFO comes into the distance, like and NASA shuts that shit off. You know, it's like they're trying to carve that shit up.
Right.
And it's
right.
Like come on, man. Like
I 100% agree with that. Like, I'm not saying Area 51 is a conspiracy theory, but there's just shit that we have an idea of, but we're unable to research it to the point of us finding out.
No, you're not gonna be able to.
Right. We can find out all of the rumors about it that may be true, and people are saying that it's a conspiracy, but if we walk up to the place that says that these conspiracies take place, we will be shot down. Why is that? Why can't we find out what's going on in this area if it's such a miraculous thing?
And that blows my mind. It's like, it's like what the future holds, like what's gonna happen in 30 years. But like at the same time, you have to be so open-minded. Like you gotta understand what they're doing to the population, what they're doing to the people. They're keeping them, they're making people just like almost as a slave, like
exactly,
the rich, like
bro.
in the banks and like oil. It's like it's all like they're keeping people dumb so they can continue making their money and like. And it's like at the same time I think it's like at the same time it's harming the planet and it's like like why do they don't want the better for humanity?
Dude, I 100% agree with you. Like the shit that's taking place and the revolutions that's gone on. Think about like the oil and gas industry and railroads, how it is today, on how that revolution took place. Tesla and dude, I can't believe I'm forgetting this dude's name right now. Thomas Edison. Those people died for making, I'm not gonna say for making, but they made some of the best inventions that could change the human life on an everyday basis, and they died.
Like Tesla was trying to do free energy.
Exactly.
And, like he
exactly.
And he had it, man. Like he had it. And like there's so many. It's probably like millions of inventions that he had that they're covering up. And it's like he had the coils, for like sending like lighting and all, like just to be able to harness that energy and be able to, or like send it wirelessly across great distances.
Right.
It's like, why are we still, like, it's like the power line companies and all that, it's like, they'll shut anybody down, or they'll buy your patent and then just bury it, and it's like, it pisses me off all the time, and it's just like, what am I doing? It's like, I'm stuck in this little hole, and it's like, I'm one person, like I can create the next best thing and not make a difference.
And that's what sucks about it, is that we are so controlled to the point of us not being able to do anything about it. Like, look at the mask mandate. Like, people are now have masks can save your life engraved so far into their brain now that even if the CDC came out and said masks never worked, people would still wear the mask because of the mere fear of catching the coronavirus.
It's like, I think that was about population and like trying to like lower the population, but I mean there's other ways
definitely. But who's to say those people actually died of COVID?
Exactly. Oh, dude, the numbers
the
the numbers didn't even add up. Like they were
exactly,
saying,
exactly,
there was like the amount of people that were in the hospital during the beginning of it. Like they were saying like it was all a lie. All the people that were in New York, whatever, all the body bags and the hospitals being filled, like that was all a fucking lie.
right. Yeah, my friend worked at the hospital at the time, and he's updating. Like we're talking every single day, so it's not like a random ass thing. He's telling me straight up. He's like, dude, we don't have anybody in the hospital. Like, if anybody comes in here, it's more than likely the common flu, and we tell them to go to fuck home. Like,
Well, you know what the thing is about it is they say in times of war and like in like crisis, that's when things are most profitable. I get it. People
right,
people panic and buy fucking all the toilet paper and shit. Like that's so retarded.
right, exactly.
Like,
Only because the media told people, hey, go buy toilet paper.
I cannot believe that people trust the news and like
Right.
and it's like I read a little deal about people from China and they're like laughing at the Americans because most people in China know that their government and it's like all propaganda and it's like people and like most people in China don't even watch the news because they know they know
Right,
and
right.
and then, like people over here are just so gullible.
Exactly. Have you ever seen the propaganda that happens in like North Korea, South Korea, like all that area? Like there's
No,
literally an island and a border that no one lives but merely buildings to make it look like the population is so vast
Ooh,
for
I
the
watched a
other
documentary
country to make
on
it think that it's
dude,
doing so good.
like I watched a documentary. There's cities that were built like just buku skyscrapers all along ghost towns.
Yes.
Just ghost towns, like nothing. And
Yep.
I heard that was a cover for the Black Budget project.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. That's
like
what I'm
for
talking
Black
about.
Budget, and it's like half of that money was spent, like, well, more than like a good chunk of the change of the Black Budget was spent, like on the ground, or Black Ops, sites and all that, or like space, whatever. But like just a little bit was sent to the side, so that can be those cities can be made. But it's like you got so many people homeless, and it's like you got all those cities like just ghost towns, like that just shows you how corrupt everything is.
Right.
And it's like
Right.
people can't open their eyes, and it's like the people have the power, man. The people have the if like people came together, like there could be change. But no, they're so strong-held against with the government, like
Right.
Cause like everybody's like, oh, look at those that $14 million.
Exactly, dude. That's the worst thing that could have happened is because, like, they pretty much convinced everybody to be on the government side because they were just giving them a free $1,400.
And then, like, people, like, I understand, like, everybody was into Trump and all.
Right.
And, like, they knew that election was rigged and all that. And, like, people stormed the Capitol and all that. But, like, that really didn't change nothing,
Exactly. Exactly. We're
but
still
it's like-
living the same exact way we did before all of that shit happened. So, like, all of the effect and temporary emotions that came out of it had, like, literally affected nothing. Because all they did was gain more people to be with the government and on the wrong side of doing the right thing. Because, like, the Democratic Party, regardless of how you look at it, they've already been known for cheating in the elections. So, like, what's the odds of them not cheating this election?
What the deal is like they've succeeded.
Exactly.
in
That's the
brainwashing.
worst
Like,
thing. I was just
They've
about to say
succeeded
that.
in the brainwashing, like whether it be Netflix or music. Like the music industry has been fucking. Like I was watching a conspiracy about Michael Jackson the other day, and it's like the music industry is so like tore up, and like they gotta be with the motherfuckers in Hollywood. It's like all that pedophile shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and people call that a conspiracy, but, like,
And it's
if
like, no,
that-
open your eyes, motherfucker.
right,
And,
man.
like, I
Just
seen
think
something the
about,
other day
like,
with the Family Guy showing a bunch of pedophilia and people like past it. And like,
exactly. Oh my, dude, I'm so glad you're saying this shit, man. Like, I'm gonna start relating it to Family Guy and The Simpsons. Like that shit
The
happens.
Simpsons, because the writer. I was watching a video right before you called me about The Simpsons. Dude, literally, I was in my car and I was like, it was this girl it's like, you know those girls that they talk about the conspiracies, and it's like they just go over it, but like, yeah, what she was talking about, The Simpsons, and fuck, man, what she was talking about, it's like, oh, she was relating Breaking Bad, and like Malcolm in the Middle, like towards it all. With, I forgot what her whole point was, but yeah, I was watching like something about that. Like, yeah, but the writer of The Simpsons, like, foretelling like future events, like one of the best ones I've ever seen was like Donald Trump coming down the escalator.
Yes,
and, like,
dude.
That's some cool shit.
Yeah, man,
like,
it's fucking spot on. Like, how could you?
Fucking Joe Rogan was like, dude, he's like, tell me if you're a time traveler, man. Like, tell me. It's like,
It's fucking crazy, dude. Like, literally every single thing in that one clip, that one frame was to the exact T of position of people, of the way, literally, dude. Like, it's fucking crazy to
it's
think.
like, you ever heard of remote viewing? Like, the CIA had it. They had like, it was like they went on for decades, and it was like these people that could remote view, and it was like they can like describe something or draw it down on a piece of paper, like distances away, like for the phenomenon, like not paranormal. You could say paranormal, but like they had the ability, and they were saying like anybody could do that, but like more people need to be open-minded of what the possibilities of what you can do as a human being, and like because you're like your brain. And like once you start trying to realize like what life is, and like and understand the possibilities of it all, and like, or if you have questions,
Right.
you know, just about the nature of
Right.
what the capabilities of what most people can like actually do,
And
they're like just so buried upon it. And I was watching a video the other day, like talking about like people in their 30s and 40s, like when you start to think you're getting older. There was a video of this guy. He was like climbing mountains in like shorts and shit, or he was going in the water and like defying temperatures, like against what they call that, like when you get cold.
hypothermia.
Yeah, hypothermia. Like he was like he was able to withstand all that, you know, just because he had the willpower in his mind, you know, like just to get past it. But like he had a nice, interesting story behind it. But yeah, he climbed Mount Everest in shorts, bro. And it's like,
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, my friend. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Keep going.
Oh, no, you good. Like I'm just saying that, like as a human being, like you have, like you can push yourself to limits, you know.
You really do. Like my friend Daniel, he actually was up to the point of convincing a family to perform medicinal mushroom practice as a placebo effect to cure their son's autistic disability
Wow.
in like just in time. And he was so close to convincing this family, but he didn't have a license to medically like prescribe medicinal mushrooms to this person. So like,
think, well, it's like, well, on that topic, it's like, do you know what DMT can do?
yeah,
You know, like DMT is like the gateway drug to
Right.
like get you to like past that like your perspective in your brain to be able to see, like, or like not hallucinate, but be able to go past the natural realms of consciousness.
yeah.
And it's like, I was watching some badass videos on that. Like,
Joe Rogan actually explains it very well.
they
But
got another guy
yes.
who has a podcast. I don't know if he's a scientist or what, but he's like a younger cat.
Uh-huh.
But he has his own podcast, and he interviews a lot of important people on the topic, and like he has some very interesting. Oh, my friend Garrett, would probably know his name, but very interesting. You know, it's like, and I love when Joe Rogan interviews. Like we had that one pilot guy, the bike, and he had some interesting like topics that they were discussing.
Uh-huh.
And someone's like about like you know, just natural science, and like he like I think he had encountered like UFOs and such.
Mhm.
And but it's fucking blows my mind. I love the shit.
Yeah, it's really interesting to know. And being that you brought all this up, I wanted to mention it earlier, is Have you ever heard of the Library of Alexandria?
Like Alexander the Great, or
No, no. It was called the Library of Alexandria, and
in
it
what
was
part of the world?
in Egypt.
Dude, like I
It
watched
was.
a video the other day, right? They found a couple years ago that they found a dagger in King Tut's tomb,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, like they didn't have any type of like the blacksmiths, the way the dagger was made, and like the scientific the test that they did on it, and like they weren't able to perform. They didn't have like the machinery or whatever to develop the type of the material, the way the dagger was formed. Like it had to be some sort of extraterrestrial, uh, how it was made. And I was like, oh my god, it blows my mind.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like like ancient aliens, they have a good like Facebook not group, but like they have a Facebook page, and like man, this one scientist was he recreated smaller pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was doing tests with the frequency and hertz because like they it was a theory derived a long time ago. I guess I guess a lot of people probably know about it, but like this dude was doing tests like with frequency and like he had discovered a lot of cool shit. Building his own pyramids and like trying to decipher what the real use of the pyramids were.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so fucking mind blowing.
It
Some of
really
the
is,
topics
man.
that they fucking come up with.
Yeah, yeah. Like the precision that they had back then, and I want to relate exactly what you just said to NASA on the current rockets today. So, the conspiracy is, did we actually get to the moon?
I think
And
we've been to the moon, but they stopped going after a couple of the Apollo missions. One of the Apollo 11s, I think the Apollo 11 mission, where they had help from like they had like something was wrong with with the ship, and
uh-huh.
like aliens helped them get back to Earth. And it's like there's so many documentaries of the past astronauts that were on the mission,
Mhm.
and a lot of them, well, like there's a lot of documentaries I've seen. Like there's a lot of like the past people that worked on the missions or who flown in the missions, but like they were like at the time they gave the documentary, they were old. They were old people.
Uh-huh.
So like they were close near to death, so they didn't give a shit about exposing the truth. And I was like, fucking right, like let it all out. Tell people what the fuck y'all did.
Right,
It's like,
right, exactly. I feel like they should, because like we're experiencing a billionaire that was an independent person that teamed up with a conspiracy theory company that's been controlling the space image for the last 60 years, which is NASA.
damn,
E-
well, the past 60 years, shit.
well, yeah, ever since
Like you can
ever
already
ever
try to
since they
fathom what they know.
right. Well, do they actually go that far of researching in space? Like, are they actually able to get these detailed photos this far out? Or are they actually implementing CGI photographs into our mind thinking that they can? Because Photoshop has been around since the
Oh yeah.
1980s. It's been used in commercials, all this other stuff, and
I mean,
people are
it might have
so.
been used to like just like push you away from thinking that from
Exactly.
like years ago, but being that like in the past in the bill for the stimulus, like when the CIA had to release all those documents,
Hmm.
like that was like that was awesome. I was like fucking right, release all that shit. But it's like they're gonna release so much, but they're not gonna come forth and tell you everything that they've been doing. Like they've been boy, God knows all the fucking the tests that they did on humans, like not even like even past LSD, you
Right,
know.
right.
And it's like all the tests that they did on humans to try to like like human trials and all that, like where it's all banned and shit. Like most people can't do it, but like shit, you don't know that they've probably been doing that to people.
Right. I 100% feel that, and I'm not going to say 5G was the implementation of being able to imply what they've researched through the MK Ultra projects through the 60s with the LSD.
Dude, they got a guy named Corey Good who had an interview, and he was part of that, and dude, the shit that he was saying, oh my god, that he was part of, like, he was saying he was going to planets in our solar system nearby that were just like Earth, and he was talking about like how Mars used to be a planet, and like he was able to go to the moon, like that were just like he was taken to the moon, like there's how Mars a base on the moon and all that, you know, there's a base on Mars that they've been working with other ETs, and like just like it's just crazy, like the shit that, you know, like that not only he was a part of, but you know, just in general.
Right, right. Yeah, man, it's crazy to think about because there's interviews of the people that have gone to the moon, and they reject all
like they
of the.
say the moon's like a hollow, like they were saying that inside the moon there's craters like that, like he was saying, like, and he was describing everything that he went through, right? He was saying he was brought to the moon, and like they circled around a crater, and and it was like the base was like invisible, and like they had a field around it to where you couldn't see it, right? And like he went into a crater and like deep into the moon, and like there was one interview I watched, and he said like a lot of it they had like it looked like it was stations, and like it was like all abandoned because like there was a pre-race like there beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was all there before, and like there's so many theories about where the moon came from, where the moon was brought there, the moon's hollow, yada yada, like and like not even to mention the tunnels like within like in the earth, and
Right.
like Antarctica, and like there's there's a whole ecosystem inside of Antarctica, and like I'm seeing more and more people, like there's more and more like posts coming up for like people noticing shit on Google Maps. Like they're seeing shit on Google Maps, like which is awesome as shit. Like where you
Yeah.
can be able to see like not just pyramids and all that, like you know, like they were saying there's pyramids on the moon, there's pyramids on Mars. Like that goes to bring you to the fact that the pyramids were used for some sort of you know, like it was like
A way
like
of
the theory behind
communication.
the pyramids, like back to that like what I was talking about earlier, that scientist that was doing those projects on his little inventions with the pyramids, like it was maybe to use transfer your consciousness or your whole body to like another point in time or point in space, which led me to watch another video like on like different dimensions, and like if there's different unit, like dude, it was just so mind-boggling. But I was like, oh my god, there's just so much to fathom at once.
It really is, man, because I want to bring all of what you just said back to the Library of Alexandria. Egypt had a library underground. We were taught from.
I think it's the Anunnaki. Like, or ancient Sumerian. Ancient Sumerian and Anunnaki were like the oldest civilizations, probably that they could date back. And I watched this. There was like a documentary, right, on Tubi. It was like the app on the Roku, and it was the documentary was called "The Man from 3036," and it just came out in 2020, like right at the January it released, and it was a guy from 3036, and he came back to this time, and he was telling about the future, and like, dude, it made so much sense, and he talked about the so many people going against the with the shots, with the pandemic and all. Like he was talking about, like so many people denied the what's it called? Fuck.
The vaccine?
The vaccine, yeah. So many people. It was a war on the vaccine, and he was talking about radiation, and like people in that time in 3036, like 1,000 years from now, right? I refer to this era as the idiot era because children have fucking cell phones, right? Everybody has a fucking cell phone, and it's radiating so much radiation that we don't even know of, and it's like it's harming us.
Right.
And like we don't even know it. And he's like, I can't believe people actually paid for water. Like people paid for water in this time. And I was like, dude, you're right, man. And he had a chip in his right hand, and he said the world is a one world government. And he said one of the families that owned there was three people, like not three organizations that ruled the world at that time. and he, like one of them was the Rothschilds. I was like, oh wow, how ironic.
Damn.
And like, dude, yeah, you gotta watch that one. The Man from 36.
I'm literally like posting it in the Discord right now.
Dude,
like,
The Man from 3036.
The
Go
shit,
watch that documentary.
the shit you were saying right now, bro, is like everyone is oblivious to what is going on.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just like the more I see every day, the more I've done. Like I've been watching Ancient Aliens like a few years ago, right? So like my mind's been open to the possibilities of everything, and then like everything that's being brought out, you know, it's just like I'm trying to figure out more and more, and then it's just like I get so mad because I'm in this. I'm working, you know. It's like I don't have to be working. Like I can, you know. It's like if I could be anywhere else. And it's just it just pisses me off, and it's just it's like there's not too many other people I can, you know, discuss this with, because people are so, it's like if you try to bring this topic up, a lot of people, they just look at you like you're stupid. I'm like,
right,
oh, I'm the stupid one, right? So
right, exactly, and they shrug it off so hard. They shrug it off so hard, and those people are gonna straight up tell you there's a sign on the door that tells me to wear a mask, so I'ma do it. Well, motherfucker, the mask doesn't even work, so regardless of you wear it or not, it's not gonna do a single thing. The CDC actually published an article saying that you're more likely to catch a corona-like virus by wearing a mask because you're constantly breathing your own waste. You breathe
it's
to
bio warfare, you know. It's like
exactly.
It made me like wanna
Information and bio warfare, because we can't speak to each other because we have to be 6 feet apart and we wear a mask, and we only get information intake by the daily news or social media.
What I was told, it's like the reason behind the mask was so they can further their facial recognition.
Yep. It's
you
all
know?
being tested right now. It's all being tested. That it's all coming into play. It's not just like a singularity thing that, oh yeah, this is why. They used coronavirus as a way to get all of the institutions out of bankruptcy, and as well as implement all of the other crap, what's the other conspiracy theory? Agenda 2021 to
I've heard of that one.
I mean, look at everything that's fucking happening. They've been having a mural in the Colorado airport of children crying with masks on all around the country. Why?
There's an underground base in Colorado.
Exactly, and they joke about it. You can go up to the sign and there's a lizard person saying, "Oh yeah, we don't have a tunnel under this door."
Oh, dude, with the
like
reptilian?
they're joking about it. It's like right in front of your face. There's even a blue horse with red eyes named Lucifer in front of the airport. It's shaped like a swastika. Like the things that's right in front of your face is like, people call it a conspiracy and they don't want to actually look at Google Maps and see that, yes, this is actually like right there. It's right here. Even if you don't travel, you can look it and or research it and see that there's a mural of what's happening in the last 2 years, 2020 and now in 2021, of children all around.
To talk about that blue horse. And I was watching that shit the other day.
So I used to watch it was a special effects show on TV. I don't even watch TV anymore because of all the bullshit that I've been like seeing on television.
Dude, you don't even go on Netflix, bro.
I don't even have a Netflix subscription. Like it's all bullcrap, man. So dude, this woman did her project or her presentation on that blue horse, and I see this on fucking television, and I'm like, there's a blue horse named Lucifer in front of the airport, and she gave the whole entire story on why it was there, what they're doing with the airport, all this stuff. So I started looking into it, and that's where I didn't even want to start believing into this stuff because people was calling it conspiracy, and I didn't want to be considered one, you know? And I couldn't help but to start questioning the things I was being told to be convinced not to look into it.
Oh, yeah.
and and I even went to the Colorado airport. I was there, and whenever I started seeing it with my own eyes, I was just looking at. I was there with my sister. I said, "Why would this be here? Why would they put such an emotional mural of
Yeah,
children
it's
literally
weird. It's
crying?
fucking
The
weird.
forests are on fire. There's people with masks on with swords cutting people's heads off. And these all of them are wearing masks. Why is this in an airport where people can see this every single day
And not be oblivious to
and not be oblivious to it?
it. Like it's
And
insane, man.
it, like you said earlier, it's so controlled that they convinced, or they've succeeded in the brainwashing of people that
Oh
no
yeah.
one wants to accept the fact that there's someone telling them what to do every single day.
And it's like,
Because there's a sign on the door saying that I need to wear a mask, it's 100% necessary and I can't live without it.
it's like I've seen like I've worked with people who had relatives who caught it, but like it's like I don't know, it might be found or whatever DNA you have.
No,
And
well, dude, I could. My dad sent me this earlier. So, what I was saying earlier is 5G affects your DNA cells. The way that 5G frequencies reflect off your DNA cells affects the way that the DNA can transform itself in the mutation of the next
mhm.
couple months or years.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
it's
Like I've seen like the other day, right? I was scrolling on Facebook and they had this medallion that somebody came up with, right? And
mhm.
it had certain levels on it that can defy it. It's like he had an EMF electromagnetic frequency device, and like he was selling the medallion so you can when you were by your phone when you put the medallion on the phone, it dropped to zero, almost like you know what a Faraday cage is?
Yeah, I actually have an envelope for my Ledger device because I'll be damned if something fucking happens and my Ledger goes out. I bought me
Like
and my dad a Faraday envelope for our Ledger devices just in case anything fucking happens.
dude, I want to put a whole Faraday cage in my house, bro.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, it's like totally possible. Like, look how easy it is for the electricity to go out. Much less something serious happen where our systems are completely down and we can't actually recover them in the next year or so.
Yeah.
That will affect the economy by,
Oh yeah.
dude, maybe 100, 200 years by trying to recover everything we had and then try to make it better
Well, dude,
to not happen again.
watch that documentary, man. Watch the documentary with the guy from 3036. You can probably pull it up on the computer.
Yeah,
And
I found
he
the link and
says
everything.
in probably in 2080, there's a 5-year blackout. Like everything goes black, like the whole grid goes black, right? And I was like, holy shit, really? I was like, fuck. Well, I'm trying to like do the math and like do my age and all to see if I would maybe be a part of that. And like dude, the shit he was saying about the future, dude, it just blows your mind because it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. The way that they are able to control now, it will only be easier later on because our youth is so into what's not important.
He was saying like after the blackout, he was saying like there's so many people that after the blackout, and he was saying like he said in 3036 the population is at 2 billion. Like yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy reduction.
Yeah.
And
The Georgia Guidestones.
he was saying that a lot of people live underground, and the people that don't want to be a part of what's going on top of the surface, they live underground. And I was like, holy shit, right? And he was saying that AI, they have like flying cars, they have AI, and he was saying that at that time, in like 1,000 years, like when that's all a big thing, they were like raising children they like have AI robots in their household, and they're raising children to. And there's a movie on Netflix called Mother. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a movie on Netflix called Mother where a robot is raising the child, and it's like they're raising children to have like have that parental guidance of a robot,
Uh-huh.
and it's like holy shit, man.
Shit like that. Me and my sister's boyfriend always relate to shit like that as it being a subconscious. Uh, it's pretty much a convincing mechanism for it to be a normality later on.
It's
So
like yes,
once
AI
it
has the
finally happens,
implications to
people.
use. Like it's like to use the only benefit I can see for AI is like for it to have a thought process. If you have any question or you want to figure something out, let the AI uh, answer it for you. But once it gets to the conclusion of not needing a human race, that's when it gets like that's when you got to really watch it, and that's the that is like what you got to be aware of when it comes down to AI, because like it'll wipe the human race out. Like, oh, we don't need you.
Right,
But like
exactly.
we're gonna develop our own system. Like we don't need a organic life form to survive. Once you
Exactly.
understand the physics of the universe.
And that's the scary part about it, man. Like, I'm a guy looking forward to having kids, but like with all the stuff we just mentioned, like what is there to look forward to
Nothing.
if if there's
Slavery.
everything everything is a form of slavery. Even now, everything is a form of slavery. Like
It's like the only way I can see my future being bright is if I have complete control of my own life without having to rely on any other. Like I would need to have like maybe like so many millions for me to survive on my own land and not worry about what's going on in the world.
right.
Other than like you having like you setting up a bomb shelter or you having your own supply of food and or energy, which I believe I can develop my own energy source to like to be able to live. But it's like depending on how I believe like we're gonna be in a not peaceful uh a peaceful time. Like I think we can go maybe like 300 years of really not waiting for shit to hit the fan per se. But like it's like, am I gonna be alive to be able to see all that? I don't know. But like, as far as like having my kids go through that, it's like, well, I don't know because I'll be
Right. Right. And that's the scary part, man. Like the new
and it's like
generation is so
the
accepting.
more shit I realize, it's like life after death. Like there is life after death, and it's like which makes me question more about
I
like religion and all that.
I do believe that as well. There is life after death, and
Because
I
I've been seeing more and more reincarnation videos, but it's like when I watch the video of like different universes, different dimensions, and
mhm.
it's like you can go to a whole nother dimension after you die and live another life. Like whether or not you have the memories of what you had when you were living or not, it's like I will never know until I pass on. But it's like what like there's a lot of people like they see their ghosts. Like a lot of people don't pass on, and it's like that makes me think. Like I've heard some conspiracies that hell is on Earth. Hell is Earth,
Uh-huh.
and it's like people that are trapped on Earth, like they're in hell, but like they haven't been able to pass on. But it's like at the same time, people that die, they say they can those mediums that could stand in a room and see ghosts or see your loved one standing right next to you, and it's like, well, okay, if my loved ones are still near, like, well, there's so many questions beyond that.
Right, right. Yeah, man, it's crazy to think about. And I don't know your experiences with like psychedelic drugs, but like whenever you first experienced that and you never even fathomed what you think about on that first experience.
I've never
It's
done
like,
hallucinogens.
well, I could say, and like the way you think, you can't even explain how you think. And it just makes you so susceptible to all of the possibilities that's going on around you. And the
Like
best way,
I've been wanting to like start meditating and like try to further my consciousness to be able
and
to try to reach, because like I've seen so many different like biographies and like people doing it. You know, it's like they're able to like. You ever seen the people that channel? Like it's called channeling, right? And it's like they're able to contact another extraterrestrial and have a
dude,
conversation.
I have another topic on that. So, yep, continue.
Like it's, dude, that's amazing. It's like I seen one, and the guy, like the extraterrestrial, he connects with his name was Bashar,
Uh huh.
and when he connects with him, the ET is speaking through him. So he's not really aware of what's going on because the ET is speaking through him, and it's like he could be in a room with 30 people asking questions, and ET is speaking through him, and it's like, oh my God, it's so awesome, and it's like, and like the answers that he's saying, and it's just mind blowing. And the other day I seen, you know what Vice is? The on Facebook,
Oh yeah,
the media group
yeah,
on
yeah.
Vice.
The media
They
channel.
posted another guy doing that same shit channeling, and he was connecting with another ET, and some of the answer, like some of the shit that he was saying, like on Vice, and it's like you start looking at the comments and people laughing. I'm like, listen to what this guy is saying. Like, listen to what's coming out that man's mouth.
Right.
Like, it's just so mind-boggling.
Yep. And
Like, as far as expanding your consciousness and being aware.
And I've always been scared to be considered a conspiracy theory or believe in all this other stuff until I started thinking about it. I told you that I started doing my own research. My sister introduced me to her boyfriend, and we started getting on this topic of extraterrestrials. He asks me, have you ever heard of CE5 protocols? I said no. He gave me a video. It was created by Stephen Greer, which is a scientist.
Stephen Greer?
Yeah.
Dr. Stephen Greer?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Dude, this dude's been trying to debunk the fucking shit for as long. They got a documentary called Unacknowledged.
Yes.
On,
Yep.
On Tubi.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Amazing,
so the CE5 protocols is just a mass meditation of people who can channel their mindset into contacting extraterrestrials.
Yes.
The whole concept behind extraterrestrials is using the mind as power to communicate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I have not had more sightings of extraterrestrial beings other than my sister's boyfriend. Dude, I shit you not.
You know?
We've had a couple of CE5 protocol meditations in our front yard, dude.
Where, dude?
Both.
Oh, you gotta call me when you do that.
Dude, okay, dude. If you are down, we can perform one. We are 100% down to experience this, dude.
Oh, dude,
I would have told him he was retarded. I'm sorry for using retarded. We were on a stream. I am so sorry. I would have called him stupid if he would have told me this was gonna happen. But whenever I sat down and actually meditated and channeled my mindset into communicating with an extraterrestrial being, I experienced something every single time. And it was an experience where I couldn't tell you that it was going to happen, but whenever it did, it was only a way to communicate in such a form that was just a way to say yes. You know, like it was a confirmation to know that, yes, this is why this happened. You know? And I really do experience these things every single day. It's like I know whenever I'm doing the right thing is because something will just happen. Something is just happening out of the blue. And it's just whenever you start recognizing either your heart and your gut talking to yourself, and you can make decisions on knowing what to do.
The guy that was saying when he was channeling and the ET was speaking through him, he was like, if you have a thought or an idea and you tell yourself that you can do it, it will come true.
Right.
You can perceive anything, and like you can make anything happen. I was just like, hell yeah. Just like not like some Tony Robbins talk, but he was like, anything you want possible, like that can happen. And it's like, you want the answers, like you know that quote, ask the universe, and the universe will provide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from? That comes from that fucking theory.
Right. Someone believed in it to make that quote, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's like, if I'm, like channeling, or if I'm asking, like, because most of I think, yeah, answers like come from the stars, and it's
It's true.
based on
There,
it's
there's
just
a
fucking
theory.
crazy.
There's a theory that millionaires don't believe in the stars, but billionaires do. And every single person that is rich right now, the one of the ones that I can tell you to go look up right now is Jim Carrey. He straight up got an interview. He said, "I wrote a check to myself
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
this
For
amount of money for
$10,000,
ten."
and that
Right,
was before he got big. Yeah, he said he
right,
wrote
right.
himself a blank check, and he believed that he can do it. And like his fourth movie, yeah, like after The Mask, his net worth was like over 10 million. I was
Yep.
like, fucking crazy.
Even Drake, he talks about his house. He had his house as his wallpaper on his computer for years. And he moved into that exact house just
That's what I'm
for
saying. Like, you
believing that he
believe, like,
could.
you can make it happen, bro. Like, you can make it happen.
It's
Like,
true.
you gotta do it. And it's like, it pisses me off every day. It's like, like, whether it be investing or whatever, it's like, I gotta take that action. You gotta take that action, like, right fucking now. It's like, you keep putting it off because, I watched another, it was a webinar, and this guy, he was talking about something, but he was like, everybody is good at distracting themselves. And I was like, oh my god, dude, like, that hit me. Like, it never hit me before. I never thought about it. It's like, I'm so good at distracting myself. It's like, 1 minute you could be prone to wanting to do something on the computer, and the next thing you know, you're not doing it. You're not. It's like, all right, days go by before you even consider trying to do something, just because so many fucking distractions.
That's so true, man. It's so true. And I've been like really hard on myself about like how much time I spend on my phone, and even whenever it comes down
No,
to the
you're exactly
weekdays,
right.
like I can't be on my phone during the weekday is cuz whenever I'm done trading, I can't be on it because for the last 6 years, that's all I've done
That's all you've done.
24/7.
And it's like, it makes
It's
you
literally
oblivious.
it's literally an addiction now. Like I'm on it without realizing that I'm on it. So whenever I'm supposed to trade, I do it, but then I stay on it for hours and hours and hours, and
That's why, like, dude,
I
like, I don't even, like, when it comes on to Facebook, like, social media, I don't even, like, really like it anymore. It's like, I don't even care to be, like, known.
right.
It's just like, I just want to be aware. I just want to know my own personal, like, ideals. Like, I don't care about nobody else. Like, I just want to do me. And it's like, it's crazy.
I feel you, man. And social media has just taken over so much that people just are 100% convinced that they need the social media profile
They need
just
that
to be,
advocation
yeah,
of other people.
right, right,
And like, I get it. Sometimes, it could be a good thing if you're doing it for a good cause, or if it's for
right,
your business. Like,
right.
you need that traffic, you need the people, you need the eyes to be able to. Because I was watching this webinar the other day. This guy was on YouTube. He was telling you how to make some money on YouTube, right? He was taking these what's it called, digital products, and he was like posting it on YouTube ads, right? Like, when like he was telling you, like, you go to this website, you get the link, and you can edit the video, and then you sign up for your YouTube account, and then you put it on, you find a video that it pertains to, or it could be similar to whatever you're trying to sell, and you put it on the link of the video,
Mm-hmm.
whether it has, like, like, let's say it has like 1 million views, right? And it's like, or not even 1 million views, it could have whatever, right? But the idea is taking that product, or that digital product, and taking the video and posting it on the YouTube ad without you even doing shit. And it's like, the next day you got like $200 fucking bucks because some gullible motherfucker bought that product.
Right.
And it's like, he was doing that every day, and like, he showed you a couple ways to scale it, and or like do high ticket products. And I was like, oh my god, this is so easy. I was like, why? I was like, because I remember Cody talking about it a long time ago. His name was like Jonah Armstrong, and I was like, I remember the guy, like, Cody was talking about him and all, and like, I never gave two fucks about it because like, I understood the concept. I'm like, I understand many concepts of how people are making money online. It's just like, I never took action.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, And like after I've seen that, I'm like, man, I really need to start doing it because it's easy. If I can like implement 40 minutes a day to doing that, it could be an extra $200 to $2,000 a day.
Right. Right.
And then like after that, you start making your own videos, start promoting your own products, and then like you're doing like you're training people how to read the forex charts. Like you make your own system and say, hey, like you can charge $500. You start putting it on. You start making a few videos. You start your own channel on YouTube, and then a lot of people see it. Free traffic flows into it. Boom, people are buying your shit. Like
Right.
this is like so many different ways, man.
And I'm really not even in it right now to sell anything. I had to restart. So the new name is Ascendancy Bankroll Solutions. Because Jordan Coos, I'm not afraid to mention his name. He's a known man. Him and I are the original ones that went to California. Of course, I'm the one that created Ascendancy, and I created the account for Jordan to trade because he wasn't even old enough, and ended up in the next 4 to 7 months, him and I grew the account to 100,000, and we moved to California. That's how all that came up, and he is the one or type of person to randomly pop up while he's with a bunch of friends and try to get me to admit that he's the one that created Ascendancy and got where we are now. As you can see, he's not even a part of Ascendancy at the moment. Have you ever heard of Jay Coos or Jordan Coos in Ascendancy in Discord?
No.
Probably not.
No.
So there goes there. My point is proven right at that point. Right. So.
No, it's like,
So,
you can't take credit for something that.
Exactly. So all
I
this.
wouldn't even be talking about that shit. Like I could create something and like I could be, like it could have made me $1 million, but like I couldn't take credit for all of that. It's like if somebody wants to know what I'm doing, I can kind of coach you a little bit to get started. But like I'm not gonna, you can't take full credit.
Right.
It's like if you had help from somebody, you can't take full credit.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like if just you and another guy were growing an account, it's like you weren't. It's like when it comes down to the business side of it, it's like, okay, what did you do?
And that's why he isn't a part of Ascendancy now, is because what he does in his normal lifestyle is not what I feel that Ascendancy represents as a company. So that's why I decided as a person not to have him involved in Ascendancy at all, is because my customers would not be satisfied with that personality. So admit it on a live stream right now to Jordan Coos. That is the whole reason why you don't own and are not a part of Ascendancy. And any of my members need to know that this is a real system. Ascendancy is true, and I'm doing this as from 100% heart. This is coming from heart. I learned this myself, and I want to teach others to do it because I didn't have the person that I want to be.
If you can, it's like, the knowledge is all there, but if you, like, you can create your own, like, not basically plagiarizing, but it's like I've heard a quote the other day: "The best artists steal," and it's like it's true.
Yeah,
it's
you take what's there and you make it better.
And it's not even like stealing. It's like, okay, you get inspired, right? And it's like, is that called stealing? No. It's like. So it's like, but yeah, if you can like teach people how to trade, like even like if you was like in an academy and you would charge people subscription or like however you would feed them your knowledge, that'd be cool. And it's like, or if you were like letting people, if you was loaning people money to trade on behalf of your account, and then giving them a small percent, like if you were giving people. Because most people don't have the funds to trade, right? And if you have like a $500,000 account or business, and you was letting people trade with $2,000, $5,000, people like learning advocates, and then giving them a small percentage on behalf of their trades, it's like helping you grow your business like that. Man, there's different ways,
right,
to be able to pursue it. Which what's your plans for Ascendancy? Just like to be like a learning platform, or or you want it to be like a fucking hedge fund?
No. I don't want to manage or be in control of anyone's account. I want people to come to Ascendancy and be able to either plug in their analysis, someone critique it, or then be able to help someone else. So this is from amateur to expert people that can come into an environment and know that they have somewhere to share ideas or ask questions to know. Because a lot of the places I've been in the groups is there's either people that will hate on you for asking a question just because they feel like they don't even know. They really don't
It's
even
like,
know.
I feel like the people who know, like it's more like they're keeping it like a secret, or like they're keeping it with the top dogs. People that are learning aren't gonna figure that out till they make a statement, or they get their they get their full, or they learn something and they get their full stake in it.
Well,
And
the whole thing is market psychology. Is like Forex. I was even introduced as this is something I can do 24/7 all day long, this and that, and then I can make all this money. That's not true. You have to actually break it down on what times you want to trade, what times you can trade, what pairs are available, on what broker you use, and what's your spread prices at this time, and this
like,
and this.
you have to,
You
if you are like looking at other markets, different time frames, it's like, or if you're up at 2 in the fucking morning or 3 in the morning, because I was getting signals at those times, and I'm like, I'm not even fucking up to be able to trade that.
right, and that's London session. So those people could trade at that time if they're available to. But you have opportunity in Forex or even cryptocurrency now to find a pair that moves during the time that you can analyze a chart and execute a trade and profit from it. And that's all market psychology, because the market's not here for you regardless. You're showing up to read the chart. The chart is only showing you the last data in the couple minutes on a candlestick. So you're placing a trade based off of your own analysis on your own probability of thinking that this is going to go in your direction.
They had a guy doing a webinar, and like he was on the training. He had his own little training and his own little group. But he was showing you when to trade, or how to catch when the banks trade. Or like you can see when the banks fuck you, like when like he called it a FU candle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like when you can see when them short you, or boost price, like blowing past your stop losses, and because he was saying like there's like 4 different traders: people who trade on price action, people who trade on trends, people who trade on different sorts. And I was like, man, that's some good stuff, because
Yeah.
I would have never known when the banks were against me, because you don't think about that, right? Because the banks, the people who have the bigger money, have the more control, because they can manipulate the market.
Right. It's true. It really is true. And that's where, your market manipulation, example would be GameStop is the most recent incident.
Oh my God, bro.
Like,
Shit, dude, I had bought some calls on Robinhood, and I bought it was like some $30 calls. It was like a $30 call, and then like at one point it told me how it spiked, right? It shot up, and it told me how I had gained 1,000 something, and I was like, oh my God! And I tried to sell, and then it glitched, and it's like I was reading articles about that shit, like Robinhood, like the owners are like Robinhood and all that, how they were getting over on people, or them not holding or selling, or when them not selling, or people, however people are making money. But yeah, I got fucked on that. Long story short, I got fucked.
but yeah, man, we've gotten really, really far, but I want to bring it back to 5G and extraterrestrials.
Oh yeah.
So the 5G is reflecting our DNA cells, and the cell phones are affecting in a way because we constantly have that frequency going off near our body all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's been a constant research since MK Ultra started, 1980s, possibly even it was in 1960s whenever the LSD experiments were going on. So the scientific data that's come out that they've researched from then till now it has only gotten better. So they know what they can do now to affect us to impact later on.
Like the
So
masses.
the mass amount of people to stick with the Georgia Guidestones, the Agenda 21, like the whole depopulation stuff. Coronavirus affected the economy because CDC even says the rapid testing that they do for coronavirus test for all virus and like all shit, I forgot what they call it.
Which was stupid because like you couldn't go to the doctor and like you couldn't have the flu, right? It's like
You
wouldn't
can't.
tell you if you had
Now
something
you
else.
can't because the COVID tests they count flu-like symptoms as COVID.
What?
Yeah, dude. This has been on the news. This is long news.
Oh my gosh.
They started counting flu-like symptoms as COVID. COVID is passed through the paperwork no matter what. No matter what you go in there for, you're checked off. Yeah, I'm in the hospital for COVID.
It's like, dude, before a couple months ago, I didn't have insurance, right? And like I wanted to go get checked, and like I called them just to get a quote. It was $100 to get a COVID test, and then like it was like $80 for the doctor visit. Like it was just like unreal, man.
Yep. And then you have false negatives. People test negative, test positive, and then test negative again. So like, what is the test doing to differentiate? Does he have it or not? Because 3 tests went by and they said 2 different things. So why are we actually doing these tests? And what is it actually detecting?
Like all that makes me want to study my own genetics. Like it makes me want to study the biology and like not only just like frequency and how things work and all, but it's like I just want to educate myself on the topic.
Well, one of the things that I'm about to pull up for the stream is Bill Gates. He did an interview, and he was talking about the coronavirus and.
They were saying he had patented it
yeah,
way before.
Right. Exactly. The coronavirus has been out. It's just they've finally found a way to do it to affect the economy for their benefit. So in the interview, he's doing this with a stack of books in front of him. The very first book is titled How to Lie with Statistics. That is the very first book on this stack.
Wow.
So we are actually listening to a man who is a computer programmer who talks like he's a doctor, and we think that he is.
Yeah, he's just going with his incentive.
Right, exactly. Because he's such a high guy, a high person, high status, that he can say whatever the fuck he wants. And people are going to be convinced that that is the actual truth.
Yeah, dude, it's like, yeah, you can, if you told somebody, like, what is true, and it's like, you would eventually believe them.
Right.
Or it's like, without even having the background of it.
And this is for the stream. How to Lie with Statistics on the very first book. Right here, Bill Gates. So yeah, that's where all the conspiracy is like totally knocked out the window, because there's no coincidence that this man is reading a book on how to lie with statistics whenever we have a worldwide pandemic that has a survival rate, but we're convinced that it's killing people.
It's like, oh, dude, when it brought back to the death labs in China and the whistleblowers coming out of China saying, hey, it came from over here. It's just like, oh shit, and people don't even think about that. It's like, yeah, it hit the news, but it's like they're gonna try to do everything they can to say, like, oh, that's not true. But it's
right.
Like, oh, this woman's coming forward and saying, hey, this is what we were doing, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yep. And there was
and it's like, dude, like they were doing. I watched a video the other day. That guy who does Project Knife. Nightfall, and he was saying, he's talking about the soldiers in China, how they were doing genetic engineering, and they were making like super soldiers.
Dang.
And all that. I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, I believe it. Like they're gonna do everything to try to live longer and do everything they can to, like 1% is gonna do everything they can. Expectations.
I'm looking something up right now. There was a prime minister. I think it's a prime minister. Give me a second. It was a man that sent tests for the coronavirus off, and the tests were done on a goat, an apple, and a tree. I think the third one was a tree. I'm still trying to find where the exact article is. But he's been exposing the coronavirus in Tanzania. Here it is. He denied all coronavirus news or any commitment of the coronavirus in his country because he did tests himself on coronavirus on a, I still don't see it yet, but one was definitely a goat, the other one was a flower, and the other one was something else, and they all came back positive. Not a single one was done on a person, so why was the test coming back positive? So he was saying that coronavirus was a hoax, and
was man-made or something, or
right, and he wasn't mandating it to be in effect in his country, in Tanzania.
So all they have to do is find a host or find a trait that the host can, like just like a virus, it's. Yeah, I understand. I get
right,
it. Yeah.
And he's actually dead now because he's been exposing this. Exactly. The coincidence that the people who are trying to expose the truth die for random acts.
Yeah.
Like the odds of this man dying, who has seemed to be in perfect health this entire time, dies because he's trying to expose his country for the coronavirus being a lie to control mass amounts of people.
You can't do nothing to try to protect people. In my advice, like in my experience, it's all like, do you? Like, yeah, you can do everything you can to try to protect people, but unless you have a fucking army or country that can defy that, defy the negative, forces against you, like, don't even bother. It's like, yeah, like, like save yourself, but like, don't even try.
It's true, man. It's true. And it really does suck that we've gotten to the point that not this generation fully, but the generation after us is gonna fully accept everything that's just gonna be told to them. Not a single question will be asked. Exactly. Lab rats.
Fucking lab rats.
It's gonna be so bad, man, and it sucks to think about. Like, we're literally fucking lab rats. And even us, we've been a test this whole time to know what to do later on.
All I can do is try to just, like, abide for yourself, and, maybe 20 years from now you can try to make a difference or do something for yourself, but I don't know, who knows, bro. It's fucking insane.
Oh, well, fuck, we always gonna be trying to do good for ourselves, but they always got the people on top of us that's hanging over our head,
It's like the people, who are dependent on them, that's the ones who are gonna have to follow the footsteps, but, I think people who, have the freedom to do whatever they want, like, hey, I can go live in another fucking country for all I give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck about the U.S.,
True.
But it's like, at the same time, it's like, not I guess you could say the cabal, you know, it's like they have people all around the world, you know, into their ties, and it's like it's not saying you can't run from it, but it's like you can put yourself in far reach to be able to not care about it.
Right. And it's kind of hard not to care about it, though, you know? Like, this
Yeah,
is...
I know, because it's just so fucking pissed, bro.
Yeah,
It's like,
even if it wasn't real, but for you to think that it's a possibility for them to possibly be trading children over the border, like, you don't want to not be a part of trying to stop that, you know? Like, I as a person, I don't want to think that there's something going on like that, and I can't have the knowledge to know about it or a possibility to stop it. And
the signs are all around you, bro.
exactly.
The signs are there.
And the one person that came about that exact thing is Trump. Like, the whole reason about the border, I feel, it was to stop the sex trafficking that's going over the borders, not just
thought about that. I never thought about that.
not just guns and Mexicans. Like, they blamed it on racism, but the largest income that comes over the Mexican border is children.
Mm-hmm.
So why would Trump not try to stop people smuggling the largest trade over the border? Not Mexicans. They don't give a shit about that. They're actually trying to stop the problem that's going on from what we've been, like, blind to for all these years.
I mean, you got Mr. Sniffer as president.
Exactly. And people think that's a fucking normal thing. Like, I don't give a shit if that was my own grandpa. I would slap that motherfucker in the own face. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking weird. It's not just an innocent old man. It's just weird. It's really weird. Like, you can't just do
like,
that shit, you know?
I noticed somebody had been mean. It's like, not even mean. They were just like, why are these motherfuckers 80-something years old still in office, and yet the retirement is 65?
Dude, that's a good point. I never thought about that one.
Yeah, it's just like, these motherfuckers are old as fuck. Like, get the fuck out of office.
And it's so true, man. Like, we're actually in courtrooms right now trying to convince these people that there's better technology that they've been using for the last 70 years. And we're trying to convince them. That's the bad thing, is we have to convince people that there's something better. If there's something better that can help the economy, it should just automatically become number one on the list. And if you don't know about it, you probably shouldn't be a part of it. And the ones that don't know about it just so happen to be the corrupt ones that's been using the monetary system to get paid through the House of Representatives this whole time.
I know, them motherfuckers need to die. They need to fucking die.
And that's the bad part, is like, people, the common person wouldn't have even researched what's actually in the bill for the stimulus. They wanted to count amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't give a shit about how many fish are in the Gulf of Mexico, because we haven't even explored 60% of the ocean.
Yeah. You're right.
Why would we spend $6 million for somebody to go try to count fish? We don't even know how many's out there, so we're just trying to find nothing.
About the ice melt.
Right, exactly. So people thought it was the best thing, that this bill was the best thing, and Trump didn't want to pass it. Because these people were trying to get paid for absolutely nothing. They're affecting and halting the progress of the American people getting paid by a pandemic that isn't even real, that's being carried on by these people. And people hate Trump so much that they think that Trump's just a bad person and is just there to screw the economy.
Dude, it's the media, bro. It's the fucking media.
It's just the media. Everything in since 2016 was hate Trump. Hate Trump with all your heart, or you're not an American citizen, you're not black, or you represent the KKK. So That was the entire narrative for the last 4 years, and tying it back in, brainwashing, bandwagoning. That was the fucking first thing I learned whenever I moved to Terrebonne, high school. Bandwagoning. Whenever so many people jump on a common topic and it becomes a popular thing.
Yeah.
Let's just hate Trump because we absolutely have no reason to like him or hate him, just because everybody said let's hate Trump.
They just like hate his personality, like
Right.
their personality trait.
And
like, oh, look what he said. So,
right,
you know.
right. And he did have a big mouth. He probably shouldn't have said a lot of things, but he was somebody to come straight up and say this is what's going on. He wasn't scared to say, yo, we need to do this. I'm going to do this. And this person's doing this. He wasn't scared to say a single thing. He just said it. And that's a good thing, is because he didn't even have to think about saying it. And that's how you know that there's confidence in what he's talking about. Is because if you look at Joe Biden now, he can't even fucking speak.
He can't have a sentence.
He can't fucking speak. Like,
He's a puppet.
yeah, and that's all I can think that he is like, literally, this is all a show. The things that's going on, like with all the Q Anonymous thing, and there's the new BitChute, because whenever the interviewer asked about QAnon on the news, YouTube shut QAnon down, all of the people that talked about them, this and that, so you have to go on BitChute now and wait for the video to be published. But, like, all the things they were talking about, all the things that are tying into what's going on now, and, like, even down to the inauguration day, what was on the news wasn't even the weather. The sun wasn't even out on that day of inauguration in Washington, D.C. So, what was actually on the news?
Yeah.
When was this recorded for them to publish this on the news if the weather didn't even match?
Good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
And those are things that people don't even research, and even if they were told, they're not even gonna research, oh, what was the weather on November 14th, 2020? And then go look at the video and compare it. Like, there's even comparisons of video clips of, like, angles. The people aren't even in the same spots, so that shows you that there's more than one take of multiple camera angles of people standing in different spots of recording the same thing.
Damn.
Why?
Dude, because, like, they have the technology now to make that
Exactly.
like a deep
Exactly. Exactly. There's even like green screen, all that other stuff.
oh yeah, dude. Like, what if you could see the best movie?
Right.
Manipulate that.
Yeah, like, look at the movies now. Like, they're recreating environments. These people aren't even in Africa in the safari. They're in a fucking building warehouse and standing in front of a green blanket. Like, and that is so convincing to people. That's the bad thing. It convinces people so much. And I work a lot with Adobe Photoshop and Premiere and all these other editing softwares, and it really blows my mind on what people believe is actually real, because they'll show me a video and they're like, oh my god, dude, look at this video, and they're freaking the hell out, and it's like, dude, you can't tell that's fake. You can't tell that's edited.
Dude,
like,
people, the average person don't. They don't know.
Right.
They don't know the strategics on all.
Right.
And video editing or
you're
how
correct.
To spot those type of scenarios.
Right, and you're right about that, and just that I have the experience to know, it just shows me that, like you said, people are just dumb. Like, you can't fix stupid at all, and that's the problem right now, is we're in an information war of social media being the impact of everybody's life. Like, you can't even. I'm even a victim of it. Like, I wake up and I get on social media, the first thing that I do in the morning, and it's
I know,
so
it's like
bad
what
for your
you created that habit for yourself.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's not your fault. It's just like whatever your interest
right.
and
Exactly.
whatever your brain wants to
Right. You're trying
see.
to get those endorphins. You're trying to get that
Mhm. Yeah.
satisfaction of your
Mhm.
dopamine levels and stuff. So
Mhm.
you implement that, but
So it's like if you were like just 10% smarter, you'd be like, you dumb motherfucker. Like, stop it. But I gotta go attend to some shit, man. We'll finish this conversation.
yeah, man, it was a great conversation. I'm glad we were
Fuck
able to get
yeah.
on and chat it up, man.
Hell yeah, man.
It's always a great conversation. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Oh yeah,
you were
man.
one
Oh
of the
yeah,
only
we're definitely.
you
I've got a lot of topics we can
yep.
discuss.
You and Cody are the only ones that I can like actually talk about stuff like this and carry a conversation and
I'm
agree
just
on
like
stuff.
so
You know,
open-minded, man.
yeah,
It's
right,
just like I'm
man.
aware.
You
I'm aware.
have to be, is because like we don't know everything, and even our grandparents didn't know everything. So like,
Oh hell, oh
we're
dude, you couldn't come up to them with a conversation like.
exactly, dude. They would shut you down whenever we started talking about
They're such in a religion, and
Yeah.
they're stuck in their way of life of
Yep.
what they used to be, and they're just like they haven't been out. They don't know the technology that we have. They don't know the access. They can't put two and two together.
Right, right. But it was great talking to you, man. I'll catch you later.
Oh yeah, man. I'll just get holler whenever I can.
All right, man. You have a good night,
All right,
man.
bro.
Later.